This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I'm going to share a passage that I remember hearing ages ago. Well, I don't know how long ago, but it wasn't ages. It wasn't like the Ice Age or anything, but a little while ago about George Clooney, and when he was auditioning for one of his first roles, and he remembered going into this audition being like, I really hope that I'm the one, and that they're able to solve my problem or my goal by selecting me to be the person that he's trying to audition for. There's my words. Thank you. Trying to audition, that he is auditioning for, and so he's there and he's like, okay, I hope they pick me. That way I can start my career and so on and so forth. And so basically he was looking for the directors or whoever's choosing the actors and for a movie. He's hoping that they'll solve his problem. And then one day he recognized that the panel also have a problem, and that they're sitting there and they're hoping that the next person that walks through the door is the right person. And so when he realized that, he shifted from this idea of going, I hope these people solve my problem, to how can I help solve this person's problem? Although it appears subtle, it is actually quite a very big shift in how we address a situation. So, let's look at sales, for example. And often sales can be seen as a dirty word. It's not. Sales are often just service people. Some industries will try and change what they call their salespeople to try and make it, they're a guest influencer or some shit like that. But really, at the end of the day, it's a salesperson, and that's okay, because the person's there often to buy something, or because in their mind they probably want to buy something or check something out. So they're looking to buy in some degree, even if it's not today. And so in order for them to buy, they need someone to sell. And so they need someone who is a person who is selling to them, who is a salesperson. But over time, because it became seen as somewhat manipulative and I don't know, some form of, I suppose, trickery on that level, or definitely, deceitfulness, shifted the way that people started to sort of see salespeople. Now, one of the best books that you can read on sales is by Sharon Drew Morgan, called Selling with Integrity. And she goes through this idea of buying facilitation. Now, what it is similar to coaching, where you're facilitating, as a salesperson, you're facilitating a buying experience for the other person. So you're not selling to the person anymore, you're helping them buy. And that's a really, really, really important distinction. You're no longer selling, you're helping the individual buy, because that's what they're doing. Because they, this is something that I recognized in coaching for so long, is that it's not the client's job to adapt their learning style to the coach's coaching preference. It's the coach's job to adapt their coaching style to the client's learning preference. And this is a really big difference between a coach and a trainer again, but the coach will adapt how they communicate to the individual. They have this behavioral adaptability to be able to connect and communicate to different individuals. And so as a salesperson, rather than trying to sell from how you pitch your sale from your communicational preferences, you actually shift to the buying preferences of the person. Some people take longer to buy. Some people aren't aware of their problem space. Now, problem space is interesting because it's something that I coach to a lot, and go, well, I can't provide a solution. A, that's not my job anyway. But B, I can't see a solution until I understand the whole problem space. And so that's where asking questions allow us to uncover that and discover what's actually going on for individuals. And this is why people just throwing out advice, if they're not aware and they aren't able to move out of their sort of frame of thinking into the other person's, and what they'll often do is miss the whole problem space and just provide a solution for a small symptom of the problem. So when we're able to be in this facilitation space, which is exactly what George Clooney did, he started to facilitate being a solution provider for the people that were looking for the right actor. And it shifted the way, it would have shifted his energy walking into that room, being like, I'm going to help you guys for your problem rather than hoping you guys solve my problem, right? And so you look back at that buying facilitation model that Sharon Drew went and created, it was this whole idea of helping people buy, even if it's not with you, because even if that's the case, you can then end up being the authority on knowing where to move and where to go with what you're looking for. And this is a really crucial point for anyone we're all selling on some degree, even if we work in admin, even if we're a nurse, we're a builder, we're all selling to some degree, but it's literally just knowing what it is that you offer and knowing the questions to ask, what is the person actually looking for, rather than going with this idea of selling. Now, let's shift the idea of selling and let's call it solving. When we try and solve problems, right, it gives a completely different shift because our focus is the problem. What I mean by that is finding a solution to that problem, rather than the focus being all my thinking. So here's all my thinking, my knowledge, my wisdom, my whatever, and that's what my focus is on. Somebody comes to me and they're not really aware of their problem. They're not even sure. They don't even know that they're not aware of their actual full problem. And so here I'm just giving my wisdom or my information or my knowledge. It's actually like, no. Let's understand the problem space and see where you need to go in order to get the information you need to solve your problem. It possibly could be here. Maybe it is in this conversation, but we don't know that yet. So let's ask some questions. And where this is now I'm in service of the other person, rather than thinking the other person is in service of me. It's a fucking massive shift, and it changes the way that we not only do business, but the way we do relationships, right? Because it's just like somebody sits there and they're like, I want to be loved. It's like, yeah, can you hear that, right? And this is one of the conversations I had today, is that we can only connect with somebody to the depth that we've connected to ourselves. So what does this person really want? What do they really want? They want love. It's like, you don't need another person for that. Now, I understand that there's this harmony within a couple, or in some relationships maybe more. Like, I get that, and I'm not saying you don't need that whatsoever at all. What I'm saying is that when we're able to be in service of ourselves, then we can truly serve other people. When we know ourselves to our core, when we connect to ourselves on a deeper level, understand the meanings that we've created around this life and how we can shift it and how we can change it, and how we can change the rules so that we can win our game, so we can win the way that we live our life, then we can meet someone on the same level. But if we're looking for someone on that level and we're not there, we haven't done the work yet, then forget about it. And I don't mean forget about it as in always forget about it. I mean forget about it in the sense that, why is somebody going to love you when you're not even loving yourself? Why is somebody going to serve you in a healthy manner when you're not serving yourself? Because when we serve ourselves, we serve others. It's a great way to practice doing that, hey? So there's a lot of beauty to this. There's a lot of beauty shifting the way that we start to see problems, the way that we start to see emotions, the way we start to see thoughts, and being able to challenge that. And challenge it in a healthy way. It's not about it being wrong or flogging it or saying it's useless. It's about going, what if I looked at this from the other angle? And what is another angle? The person I'm speaking to that's trying to get their point across, have I really put myself in their position? Really put myself in their position, asked enough questions to get a good understanding of their perspective of the situation. If not, I'm just trying to shove my view of the world, my map of reality, over their map of reality and saying that my map of reality is actually righter than their map of reality. No, your map of reality is wrong because here's my map of reality and that's right for these reasons. It's like, can you hear how childish that is? As we move through maturity, we move into more questioning and understanding and seeing all the things come up for us. The need to serve. It's like, that's if you need to serve, then you're not actually there in service of the other person. You're there in service of yourself. It's a big difference. Indeed. On that note, team, I am out. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you found this podcast beneficial. If you have, then it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. And if you haven't already, jump on Facebook, search Mood Prep Online, join the conversation there. And that's me. That's me done for the day. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. And slay the dragon. I'll see you guys soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.